Our next speaker is a new member. She's going to give us her icebreaker speech, which is project number 1 in the company communication manual. She's being very brave by stepping up and giving it without formal preparation. So I'm very interested in seeing what's happened with Heller.
Hi, my name is Heller Gregory, and I came to Toastmasters to practice giving this speech I have in April for my startup drone company. I wouldn't call it a startup because it seems like all the startups are being VC funded with millions, and I'm basing my company on not spending more than I can afford to lose at this point. I did read some of the things. I'm a little prepared. I did this speech in front of my husband a couple of times, and it went about 20 minutes. I'll take it down a notch. A little bit about me is that I'm 53. My boys are grown. I'm an empty nester. I stayed home with my boys. My husband has a soils engineering company here. We did the math and decided the best thing to do was for me to stay home with the boys, and I don't regret that for a second. I worked part-time at the golf course up at Foundry Oak. When I was coming on 50, I was having I'm a total tomboy, so I had a male midlife crisis. Where I thought, I don't want to work here anymore. I want it all. And surprisingly, after my boys left, I thought that was what was going to happen. Not realizing that I was now 50 years old, my resume being sent was being thrown in the trash, and I could barely get a job for $12 an hour, if I'd even get the phone call to come in. I hadn't realized that I was 25 years older than I was when I had my boys. With that, what I did was really started to work at creating myself. I'm really good at practical stuff, not very good at textbook. I do something and then open the textbook after the fact, read the directions. I'm a really good problem solver. So things like getting my pilot's license, which I did when I was 50, and got all my sailing certificates. I'm certified for everything. That type of water, air, wave thing is how I grew up. I actually was born in Marin, but my dad got a job in Hollywood at Car and Driver when I was a kid. So I was raised in Manhattan Beach in Southern California, which is close to LAX. And that was during the 60s and 70s, and we had a ton of freedom. I grew up a complete tomboy, in the water all the time. A little bit of Walnut Creek is I'm a fish out of water up here. But that's one thing I went back to, was the surfing, the sailing, things that I grew up with. I'm a born-again kid, and I'm going back to the water and that. One of the things I wanted to say was a quote that formed me pretty much. When I was in high school, my brother is a year younger than me, and when we were in high school, he was asked to go to Germany and play on a competitive soccer team. While he was there, I was at a party talking to some friends, and being your typical LA, Manhattan Beach, entitled brat, teenage girl, I was complaining to everybody, saying, you know, my brother's spoiled, he gets to do this, my parents favor him, he's in Germany. And this friend of mine turned around and he said, Heller, I don't see you playing soccer. And he walked away. And that quote has stuck with me forever, because I wasn't happy for my brother. I didn't see the work that went into that. All it was about me. I was a teenager, but still it was all about me and what I deserved and what I was entitled to for doing absolutely nothing. Since then, I've kind of based my thoughts about people and how they are around not jealousy, but I'm happy for people, and I really do look into what they have put in to get where they are. I don't look at somebody who's become super successful and think, oh, that just fell into their laps. I know what goes on behind the scenes to get things like that done. I also know at my age what I've been doing to make this happen, and things didn't fall into my lap. I had the pilot's license first. There was a time where I was going to give up on that, and I talked to a friend of mine. A pilot's license is still good old boys. I get the whole fact that they're cautious of women. I do get that. I've been around men and that my whole life, so I do get that. But they're also, my friend told me that this is hard. This is not an easy thing. This should be hard, and you're risking your life doing this. And it made me go back and go ahead and finish up and listen to the people and not be belligerent about it. And that led me to get my license so that I'm legal for this company. I've really enjoyed the last couple weeks coming here, and I'm excited, and I hope that I don't just stand up at this one conference and not have anything, nothing comes out. So I'm practicing that here. Thank you.